Hello everybody, welcome back to our Moneyball series with Paris FC. Now, we are in a title race. Technically, mathematically, we're in a title race, right? It's very, very close. Now, before we get too carried away, and I say we because I'm getting excited with you. I'm there, but we'd have to be 3 points clear of Paris Saint-Germain for us to be in a legitimate race because we have to play them away from home. And we all know, if you were to go off of what's happened so far, playing them in any game is likely defeat, but definitely away from home, right? So it's not as close as it looks. We need them to really drop points at least 2 more times, I would say. And they've only lost 1 game so far, and that was against Rennes away, who are also in the top race with us, really. We're pretty comfortable right now in terms of being in the top 4 finish. Things have gone very well off camera since we last met. So this is the first episode on the update, by the way. So this is the first episode you're going to see me play matches on the winter update. From Sports Interactive with Football Manager 2023. So we're going to see how the tactic plays out. But so far, the only game we've lost since the update, and the update was pretty much, I think I only played a couple of games. So most of the games played here off camera since the last video have been on the new update. And the only real defeat I've had since the new update's come in has been the cup game away from home. Now, I can't believe this. I rotated a few players, not a lot, just a few. It went to bloody penalties, and we lost on penalties. I can't believe it. So we're out the cup, which is a disgrace, really, because we're going to go through in the Champions League by the looks of it, and the chance of us winning that is unlikely. But we've got our 8 points anyway already, so we're going to finish in a decent position. Probably not going to finish in that top 8 because we've got 2 tough games to go. I'll probably rotate players for them anyway. So, yeah, but we're in the top 24. That's what we needed. That's what we need. We're okay with that. That's good. So like I said, in today's episode, we're not going to play any games here early. I was going to bring you the Barcelona game, but I'm not too sure thinking about it because I don't think it's going to matter at all. So what I might do instead is play February. So we'll miss out all this. We're going to come back now because we might do some transfers. Now, I've made 1 transfer off camera, actually. And Mert Mulder here, the reason I brought him in is for 2 reasons. So 1, he can play right back in the back 4 for us, I think decently well, at least for the rest of the season, being to next season. But also he can play on the side of a back 3 if we stick with the same tactic, right? So in either case, he can just sort of do either job for us. And he scored pretty highly on the stats last year. And because this year he didn't really play much. He had 5 starts for his club. But I bought him on the basis of last year's stats. He was still on my shortlist from looking in the summer. So that's why he was on the list, and he comes in for 2.5 million. And should be a really decent backup player. He's probably our 5th choice centre-back. Could be our 4th choice. Do you know what? He could be our 4th choice centre-back, actually, because I don't like Jensen very much, to be honest. So if there was any issue at centre-back, I probably would throw him in instead of Jensen. So there you go. I have tested a couple of back 4 formations and tactics, rather, on some of these games. Like the Salzburg game, I started the first half with the Inter Mourinho tactic that you saw last time. But it was nil at half time. It wasn't doing too great, so I switched back to the 3 at the back. And I've currently got loaded a Pep Guardiola recreation tactic for this year. Now, the way this tactic works, let's get rid of the squads, which makes it easier to see. Now, anybody that watches Pep's teams knows that it can change quite a lot from game to game, right? I think a couple of things that's been quite noticeable in the last year or so has been that, for example, Bernardo Silva, despite still being a fairly aggressive attacking midfielder in general in the way that they play, he definitely goes and collects the ball off of the back line and builds up like a second pivot at times, right? So our Bernardo Silva rolls next to our Rodri there, so like a 2. So the tactic's going to build in a 3-2. So we've got a full back defensive narrower and then like a back 3 here going across. And this is based on a few games earlier in the season when João Cancelo actually played in quite a few wide zones. It was often when Cancelo was paired with Grealish, and Grealish would move inside and drift inside a little more, and then Cancelo would occupy the wide zone slightly more. So you get your 3-2 build-up, and then you get your 4 behind the striker. Now, the Grealish role could be an inverted winger instead of an advanced playmaker. I've just got him there to try and make him go inside as much as possible, but like I've always said with recreations, for me, it's not really how much it looks too much on here. It's how it plays in the match engine, right? So for me, this role could be a bit different. You can maybe keep this role, change that to a shadow striker, whatever you want to do. But that's the general theme of it anyway. That's how it's designed to play. And you can make a few different tweaks. Like if you've got a left back that's defensive in your tactic, but a right back that's really good going forwards, you could flip this tactic and just flip the way that it all is and invert it completely, right? You could do that. And people have asked me for an Arteta recreation. And if I was doing an Arteta recreation, it wouldn't be too far off of this. The playing philosophy, I would keep quite similar, and I'd probably change some of the roles and duties to replicate the Arsenal players slightly more. But yeah, anyway, that's the tactic anyway that we're going to be loading off off camera. I might play it today. If the title race wasn't so close, I would play it. I'd play it in today's episode so you can see it. But because the title race is quite close, I hope you can understand that I don't want to risk it too much, for one. And for two, watching this tactic in the new update, right? Watching it play out, it played, I think, even better than before because they're not quite as direct as they were before. I already had said how it was built to sort of accommodate the way that this sort of plays out, this sort of tactic with 3 centre-backs and then the 4. Now, it actually plays really, really well, and it seems to get better patterns. And I just feel like all round as a tactic, it plays even better. So, like in the Burton save, it's probably going to blend perfectly with the progression I was talking about. I wanted it to be slightly better in possession and slightly better at building attacks. So we've naturally got that from the match-ending changer, to be honest, with the same tactic. So I might not have to tweak it too much in that series. And in this series, I mean, I'm going to keep it the same for now. I said either at the end of this season or at the end of next season, we would try and implement a back four tactic. But for now, it's going to stay, and we'll see how it goes. And yeah, I do love the football of the Pep tactic, and it's something that we could look forward to. But for now, and as you can see, like the signing of Mulder, if I did switch to the Pep tactic here, he'd be the fullback defender. He's perfect for that, right? So, yeah, there you go. The only danger with this is, like I mentioned before, yes, it would play brilliant football, it'd be great for us to watch, but it may take us an extra 2-3 years to catch PSG, because where you could catch PSG with a slightly lesser team, but a good tactic that can play as an underdog and still dominate and still do a bit of everything, in this kind of tactic, you're quite prone to having lots of possession without creating click-up chances, and you're prone to maybe getting the odd draw if you don't have significantly better attacking players than the opposition to defenders. That's one problem. And for two, when you're playing against big teams, high reputation teams, loads of morale, loads of form, and they're playing aggressively against you, you can be prone to obviously conceding goals on top of that. So it's not the best thing for us to go for, but it's there anyway for now as an option. Okay, so there was a takeover talk going on. The other reason why I put that transfer through as quickly as I did is I had like 2 million left in transfer budget, and I wanted to make sure I spent it before the new owners came in, because there's been 2 of these now basically off camera where somebody's been taking over, then it's getting quashed. So I think eventually this will go through. I very rarely see this happen time and time again without something eventually going through in FM, right? So I feel like eventually the owner is going to sell to somebody, and we need to make sure that we've spent all the money that we can early so that new owner can come in and put their own money in. We don't lose out. We can maximize ourselves. But the bank balance is in absolutely pristine condition. We are making a profit every month. We are looking very, very good as a football club. Projections are up. They're now factoring in the football a little more. We're going to get in the Champions League next year, you would expect. And we're looking good. Our transfer budget isn't great, but yeah, I mean, it's annoying, isn't it? You know, but there we are. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play this Bordeaux game off camera, and I'm just waiting to see if I get a big offer. I've had a big offer for Preacher. I've had a big offer for Preacher, and it was, I accepted it. 27 up front it was from Wolfsburg, and he rejected them. And I keep getting bigger offers for Christensen, but nothing I'm accepting yet. I'm not going to bring you back with me too much unless I do sell somebody, because we don't have the money to buy anybody. It'll be more if we do sell somebody to then reinvest the money. And if we're going to sell somebody, it would have to be quite a lot of money to make sure that after their 20% in the next sale, etc., it's still a good enough sizable transfer budget for us to go and sign multiple players. Because I don't really want to do a 1-for-1. I don't want to sell Preacher and bring in another striker unless I really love the striker. It'd be like selling Preacher, bringing in a good striker, and then bringing like a starting pivot player, right? Something to that nature. So you'll come back and join me in, I don't know, a few weeks. We'll see how we're doing with the transfers. There may not be any anyway, so we'll see how we go. But I'll see you then in a few weeks, and I'll see if I've been able to bring in anybody and sell anybody. Okay, I just had 2 absolutely unbelievably poor things developed for me. So Lassina Traore was available on a free transfer. So he was available on a free from his previous club, and he signed for Stuttgart instead of us. He had scored highly on everything. His XG performance was 4.6 something. Let's have a look actually. His XG performance has gone up since I last saw it. So it's gone up to 5.23. His minutes per goal was really good. His conversion ratio was good. Shot on target ratio was good. Everything has been good about him. But yeah, fortunately didn't sign for us. We gave him a pretty good contract as well. So fortunately that didn't occur. And then secondly, just to that, I had shortlisted Malacia because Bayern had transfer listed him. We could have got him for like 2.4 million pounds, something like that. But I was waiting to bid on him because I'd already offered a contract to Lassina Traore for like, 59 grand a week, something quite high. So I thought, okay, I'll have to wait for 2 players to go before I offer him the contract. And then as soon as that one was done, I went to offer Malacia a contract, and they took him off the transfer list. So really unlucky stuff from us, but I'll keep looking anyway. In terms of players out, I'm looking to sell both Hilgers and Kaufman. Together, that's going to be over £10 million. We'll see how much of that we get in transfer money. Christensen, I can't get a good offer for, so he's going to be staying with us by the looks of it. Okay, we have got potentially a really, really good find in a more obscure league. So the South African Premier League here, Evidence Makgopa. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name correctly here. He's had a pretty good couple of years in the save, and he scored 16 and 19 this season. So what I was doing here is I'd search just strikers, appearances 5, goals 5, age 28, and I sorted them by minutes per goal. The problem with just sorting by minutes per goal generally, just on its own, is that you'll get players that have come off the bench one time, scored once, and they'll have like a minutes per goal of like 30 minutes, whatever it is. So by putting the minimum of 5 goals in and the appearances of 5, that sort of like made it realistic. And all you had to then look at was what level of football do they play at. And again, that was just like the first way I was sort of sorting the players. That wasn't what I was looking for necessarily. Now, unfortunately, it's a bit of a risk with Makgopa because of the league that he's in. We don't get all the stats that we need. So we're only restricted to a few of them here. But his shot on target ratio, conversion ratio, minutes per goal, extra performance is very high. That is maybe a concern it's that high. But for 375 grand, which is his release clause, I don't think that is a risk at 375 grand, especially if we lose Kaufman and we need an emergency player in, which is, you can see the date there, 28th of January. We're getting close. I don't know. Maybe he's really good. We'll see. But that could be a really good find for the amount of money. I'm excited about him, especially considering that the old scouts reckon he's at least got something for us. So we'll see. Okay, same exact scenario for Ibrahim Adel here. We don't get all the stats that we need, but the ones that we do have look incredible. And he's been on my shortlist for a couple of years now, has he? I'm sure I'd had a look at him before, but you could see like he looks really good as well. I'm going to have to look at him. Who wants him? Club Bruges. I think he could be a really good signing. Well, how much they want for him? We could probably get him quite cheap. He'll probably be the second one. These are going to be 2 risks to replace Kaufman, but I think Kaufman's already gone to that stage where he's underperforming quite a bit, so we'll see. Okay, so Ibrahim Adel does come in for 4.5 million in total from Pyramids. Let's see how good he is. He looks like he could be really good. And also, if we do go to a tactic, we play wingers, he could play there as well. He's got valuations going up to 12 to 13 million. I can't say that I'm ultra familiar with his work in real life, but I'm looking forward to seeing how good he is. He looks like he could be a really good player to play on the wing in a 3 or in a front 2 for us. I mean, wing backs may be a stretch, but, well, maybe, I don't know. Let's see what happens. I brought you back right this second. The transfer isn't over yet. I'm still going to sign our South African striker as well, Evidence, because it's 375 grand for a young striker who looks like, well, he's not young, but he could be a really good Moneyball signing. So we'll see how that one comes off. And Champions League draw. So let's get into that and see how we get on in this. Who are we going to get? I'm just going to do it manually myself here. Brondby are going to play Milan. Atletico Madrid, Benfica, Hertha Berlin play Inter. Paris FC are going to play Anderlecht. Okay, that's a pretty good draw for us. That could have gone a lot worse. Okay, is that Aston Villa? Okay, so the January transfer window is over. We managed to bring in Adel for 4.5 million. Not that Adel, but Ibrahim Adel. And then Evidence Makgopa comes in for 375 grand. I think that is 2 really good transfers for us, to be honest with you. And, well, you did have Mulder as well earlier in the transfer window. But I think those 2 players in particular, raise this up a little bit. Yeah, those 2 players in particular look really good for us. And we'll see how they get on, to be honest. We'll see how they get on. So that leaves then Kaufman and Hilgers both leaving for a combined total of about £11.7 million. That brings our total spend this year to minus 2.5 million. So we've raised more money than we've sold so far in this season. So your first team squad is now going to look like this. So Christensen is in goal with Badashile, Christensen and Falrez is the back 3. Merlin and Brun Larsen as wing backs, Samuel and Ndai as pivots, DaCosta is the 10, and Boniface and Preacher up front. So Kaufman is sold, and we've got Yakubu, who's basically going to be a non-entity for us for the rest of the season. And that leaves then Evidence is going to be our backup big man striker, and then Ibrahim is going to be our backup in behind striker for Preacher. Or depending on if we change formation, if we change formation, if we go to the front 3, it could be that Boniface goes as a striker, Preacher goes up to the right, and then Adel goes to the left-hand side, and that creates our front 3 as well. So there is that possibility. The squad's actually in a nice spot now where it could transition to like a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, that kind of thing now, if we wanted it to be with the additions that we've made in this transfer window in particular. In terms of matches, we're going to play the Strasbourg game, the Anderlecht game, and then most likely the second game at Anderlecht. Now, if we absolutely smash Anderlecht, I won't bother playing the second game at Anderlecht. We'll play the Nice game instead, but it depends on that first result. Strasbourg are actually 7th at the moment, so they are a good side. It's going to be a potentially tough game. Anderlecht in the Champions League, our first knockout game of the series, and then Nice in the second league game after that. Or the second leg against Anderlecht, it depends how the first leg goes. So I've just gone through the first team for you. The only change to the first team squad is going to be that Yakuba comes onto the bench instead of Adele because Adele's a bit tired from international duty. Apart from that, first team, let's see how they get on against Strasbourg, and let's see how close we can make this title race. Rennes is still the second team in the title race, though, not even us, which is quite interesting, actually. Fair play to them. Okay, assistant manager says, we've done a good run and got there and impressed me, okay? And we are underway. There's going to be a corner right off the bat for I was going to say Anderlecht, then it's not, it's Strasbourg, isn't it? It's going to be cleared away just, put back into an area. They're going to score, they do. Goalkeeper's not great again, and it's 1-0. Highlight starts in a weird switch, actually. Goes across to Badiashile, takes the touch, plays it to Costa. The Costa plays it across goal. Preacher's surely offside there, isn't he? Nope, Brun Larsen has it, goes through, and their goalkeeper saves it, where ours doesn't. Stays 1-0. Highlight here, goal kick for them, they go long. We're going to win the first one, we don't win the second. We win it now, though. Preacher, he's giving it away. We had such a good opportunity there. They're going to go through. It's going to be their highlight. And they're going to score because our goalkeeper can't save anything. Free kick right before half time. De Costa to Fares, who's completely open. Heads it. Keeper saves with ease. I don't think that's going to be the highlight, is it? Nope. Here we go. It's gone long from the goalkeeper. Christensen to Brun Larsen. Brings it down. Takes on his man. Now looks to cut back. There's a nice little chop there, I think, from Larsen. Fares back into Larsen. Plays a terrible pass. Like, we are really poor at times. I'm going to change the tactic at half time. We're going to go to the Pep tactic. The lads have been training it for a few weeks now. They should be ready for this. It's at home. It's a game where I think that if we can start dominating possession early and score one goal, we should be able to get a second. If we get in the goal, that'd be nice. Oh, come on, Victor. Okay, I'm going to say I want to see much better display. Let's go to it then. There we go. First time we're going to see it in the series. I think so. We're going to bring on Osei at right back. We're going to play Brun Larsen on the left-hand side. Then Gary's going to go as our like Bernardo Silva. And we'll see how this goes. We'll see how the team gets on. Good luck, Paris FC. It was a very poor first half. Can't be any worse in the seconds. Sometimes to appreciate the football this tactic plays, you've got to see it on comprehensive or full match to see it really play out in its beautiful way. However, we don't have really the time for that. And we're 2-0 down anyway, so, we'll see what happens here. Anyway, they get the ball, they slide it inside. We've been absolutely shredded defensively. They probably should have scored there as well. Going to take off Brun Larsen. I'm going to throw on, I think, Leopold on the left wing. Oh, let's do. Let's move Garrow on the left. There we go. Highlight here, Garrow with a free kick. Goes towards the far post, headed towards goal, and it's in. There we go. Is it going to be offside? It's 2-1. Let's go. Another highlight here for, well, I don't know who for, actually. It's going to be brought down in the middle. Can we get any pressure, lads, on the ball, please? Any danger, any pressure? Any danger, lads? Right, now we're going to get this surely. Oh, Christensen, just nod it back to the keeps, mate. He's right there. Garrow, slide it in there. Good. Oh, fucking, oh dear. Oh dear. I thought Da Costa was going to see that and just latch himself onto it, but he was pretty poor in his attempt to go for it. Garrow. In fact, probably could play Garrow as a 10 and move Da Costa out wide, but it's too late now. Merlin has it. Plays it to Garrow. Garrow gets tackled. Leopold. Merlin. Whacks an early cross. Da Costa there. He's got to score it. Yes, come on. Here we go. It's 2-2. I'm going to go to an attacking version of this tactic now. Okay, so this is the attacking version of the tactic. It's when we're trying to get a goal. So the left wing effectively becomes the advanced forward on the left. And we'll try to get the passes still on the left-hand side. But it's now a striker, so it looks to make more direct runs in behind. And let's see how this goes. Come on, Paris. The momentum's with us. Come on. Corner. It's a corner. It's going to be Garrow with the corner. Far near post. Christensen. It's tapped it. Is it going to be a goal? I think he's offside. Yeah. Corner for them. For Strasbourg, they have a corner. Late on. Hopefully it's not a goal. It's crossed towards the far post, headed just over the bar. Finishes 2-2. Wow, we came back and did well. We'll say sympathise. Right then, I'll see you in a few days for the Anderlecht game of the Champions League, our first knockout game of the series. Okay, here we go then. The first knockout game for us in the Champions League in the series. And let's see how we get on against Anderlecht. I'm expecting a win, but let's see what happens. Probably Adele's first appearance as well at some point in this game. Not from the start, of course. You can have number 20 or 21, why not? Assistant manager says, we're favourites for a reason, okay. There's our formation we're going to play against. What have they got for us? They have got a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, so in the last episode, or 2 episodes ago, wherever it was, I got away with obviously using the Champions League music in the episode. And he gets it, plays the Boniface, goes through, it's deflected, it's got to be a goal, it's off the line. So for the bigger games, I might try it again, but I'm sure at some point it will come back to haunt me. But until then, we'll try it again. I like having it. See, when I've got another tactic that I like seeing, like the Pep tactic, I just want to keep changing to it. But I do feel like it's the wrong thing to do in the Champions League this year, because it's not going to be a good Champions League tactic, right, against big sides. Whereas Merlin goes through. I feel like this tactic could get us an upset against the big side, whereas I don't feel like the Pep tactic will. But it'll make us play really good football against sides that we're better than in particular. So domestically it'll work alright, but I just think Champions League-wise it will not, as they go through on goal. That was close. Okay, so you have got in the team here now got Adele coming on for his first appearance for the club, making his debut for us. He's going to go on the left-hand side. Preacher's going to go to the right. And we're going to have Da Costa playing off with Boniface, and then Farese comes off to make it into a back four. That's what we're going to do for the rest of the game and see how we do. So when I switched to this tactic, we had 40% possession, just so that we're aware, going into this highlight, which is a real highlight, I think, because it's just appeared as I paused the game. I was going to pause it anyway, though. Last into Ndai, shoots from distance, and it's just over the bar. It went from 60-40 to them to 51% to us in 10 minutes. That's how much it changed in possession, or 50% now. We'll say keep going. Going to take Boniface off and put on evidence up front. Going to take off Preco and throw on Osei Samuel on the right-hand side. And I might take off Merlin and throw on Mensah as well there. Corner, last minute of the game, Da Costa whips it in. Christian, come on! Paris FC get the winner late into the game. And it's a big goal for us. And it's going to finish 1-0 to Paris FC now. Great goal from the centre-back, makes it 1. And that should do the tie for us. Well, not the tie, should do the game for us. And they have it 1-0 to Paris FC. We'll say well done to the boys. Okay, I'm going to play the Nice game off camera. We're going to come back then for the second leg against Anderlecht away from home. And let's see if we can get ourselves into the round of 16 of the Champions League. Okay, here we go then. Second leg against Anderlecht. We did draw the game against Nice. I changed the Pep tactic at half-time. I think it was... What was the score at half-time? Was it not 0-0? It was 1-1. Finished 3-3. So there you go. I think I found like the attacking version of it that I've got, or at least a form of it, actually works quite well as a tactic. So I might end up like using this as a base, but tweaking it to being more of a better overall tactic to use as a generic team rather than trying to recreate a specific style and tactic itself. So, but let's see anyway. Let's carry on what we've got for this second. We're going to carry on with the Pep tactic here. I've just set it to be primarily trained, so they're going to take a while to get used to it, as you can see here. But we're going to go with it anyway. I'm losing faith with the 3 at the back system and the team. I said I wanted to change it anyway because it was always something I wanted to do. So we're probably going to start to move towards it now, especially with those back-to-back draws in the league. That's put us out of the title race, really. I know it's only a few points, but fact of the matter is we've got to play them away from home. So Red have still got a chance. So fair play to them. Okay then, second leg. First team is in except for Samuel, who is going to be out with suspension, and Merlin's going to go CDM, and then Mensah's going to play left-back. So that is going to be your team, and let's get into it and see how we can do. Don't forget, we need to get a draw, really, because we scored a goal in the first leg to win 1-0. Farese is going to play as a fullback defend. Obviously, he's more of a natural centre-back and more of a natural ball-playing centre-back anyway. So he's probably going to get the ball in possession in the same areas as when he played as a wide centre-back, right? Or a ball-playing defender on the side of a back 3. System manager says nothing to lose. Okay. No shots in the first 20 minutes. Who's it going to be for Anderlecht? It's going to be an early one. They're going to whip it into the near post, are they? Or 6-yard box headed away. Second phase, they're going to come back into us. Oh, it's at the post. We've had 64% possession and no shots on goal. This is the slight problem with it sometimes. Okay, I've just tweaked the in-possession tactics, or settings rather, to be what they are when we go attacking. And I do normally have attacking mentality with it. I'm going to leave the mentality for this second. In fact, no, let's change it as well. Let's go with the same exact tactics and settings I go for when we're trying to chase the game, but not move any players yet in terms of their actual roles and duties, etc. Okay, I'm going to bring on Osei Samuel as the striker here and play him like I would if I was chasing the game. But I'm not going to move the wing back up just yet. I wanted to really see if this would work. So let's see. I know I'm sort of playing with fire because we're a goal up, but I want to see if it works, really. We'll also bring on Leopold at CDM and then move Merlin to left back as well. Late highlight here, 73 minutes on the clock. Anderlecht's going to get a chance early. They're going to overload on this side, maybe. I know Merlin gets to it. Good. Okay, Badiashile into Leopold here. Leopold into Merlin. Nice progressive pass in there. Come on. Make the overload work. You had the overload there, lads. What we doing? Leopold slides into Osei. Samuel goes through. He's going to cut back for a ball across, maybe. Plays it across the Boniface, surely. Oh, he's gone backwards for no reason. Oh, what are we doing? Free kick for Anderlecht. Really dangerous position. We're about to go defensive here. And they hit the bar. Okay, we've gone to the defensive version of the tactic. Let's see if we can see out the game. Late highlight here. Anderlecht have it. They play it short. They come back from the back. And they go across to their right winger here. Plays it inside. Badiashile. Oh, come on, ref. That is not a penalty. Don't you dare. Ref, don't you dare. Don't fall for it. He's fouled for it. Penalty awarded. Anderlecht with a penalty. This could be a dangerous situation for us. Disappointing. Scores. Going to go for this and see if this works. The lopsided sort of back four. I hate doing this, by the way, so I can't. No, I can't do. I hate it. I hate having the lopsided back three situation there. So I can't bring myself to do it. Late highlight here. Merlin has the ball. Plays it across. Goal. It's got all the way across now to Evidence. Plays it back to Farazi. Got options here. And Die. He's going to shoot from distance. Keeper saves it. That's probably going to be the end of the game. Okay, extra time it is. Also, keep working hard. Okay, Evidence has it on the right hand side. Looks for support. Surely here. He's going to have to use somebody else. Plays it across. Got to say someone. Penalty. Referee. Surely. Don't give me. I don't want the fucking advantage. I want the penalty. I want the penalty that you gave them. Same exact scenario. Highlight for Anderlecht. They have the ball, play it short into Coop Myers. I have got the sort of lopsided back four now, by the way. I decided to just go with it, see if it would work. But I can't see it working long term. But maybe for this one-off game, it'll work. Leopold plays it through to Osei Samuel's got options to play it through. You had to cut that back. Osei Samuel, mate. You want to... Oh. Right. So he's there. Little slide. That is an open goal finish. And he decides to shoot. It's penalties. We've already had one penalty shootout and lost earlier in the season. So, I've no idea what's going to happen. Watch it together. Gary's going to take the first one. Scores 1-0 to Paris FC. And the next first penalty. Missed. Good save from Christensen. It's 1-0 still. Leopold scores just scores. Makes it 2-0. As Lambers now steps up to make it... What for Anderlecht? Are they going to get their second one in? They do. Merlin with the penalty. Is he going to score? He does just. Sneaks it through. Now Anderlecht, the pressure's going to be on them here if they miss. Coop Miners is going to take it. Coop Miners is going to take the penalty. And he just scores. He just sneaks it through. That was pretty close though. Now Say Samuel, who looked really effective when he came on. And then ballsed up the finish, which was really annoying. But give a bit of confidence for the tactic overall going into that sort of like attacking mentality, slightly higher tempo, slightly more direct version of the Pep tactic. So it's just not quite as passive in possession. But yeah, let's review that actually in the next episode. And I might play a bit of it off camera as it is. I'm gonna have to tweak it for the Champions League though, because I think it's going to work here as Anderlecht score. Oh, we're not through yet, I suppose either, because we need to score this. We can win it here. This could be the winning penalty. Brun Larsen, who came on in the 110th minute to replace Preacher, who I sometimes call Preacher. Is he going to score? Brun Larsen for us to go through. Misses it. But it's okay. It's okay because Christensen can save it and we can still go through. But it's all right. Christensen's a great keeper. I have so much faith in him, it's not even fair. Is that Jordan Henderson? And he scores. That's Jordan Henderson, right? It's got to be. I'm assuming it is anyway. Okay, now Evidence. Mac Gopa goes through, scores. Pressure's back on them. Are they going to score theirs? Brassier left-footed. He's going to take a shot for his penalty and he scores. Undai. It's got down to Undai, our right pivot player, who's been really good for us all season. What's he going to do? Oh, he just scores. I thought he missed it. But he scores. Goes back over to Anderlecht. Now they have to try and get theirs. Boateng's going to take it. And we'll see if Christensen can be a hero or if he can just at least miss the target and do us a favour. I don't want to see Christensen take a penalty. The goalkeeper, Christensen that is. Boateng scores straight down the bloody middle. Now it's our Christensen. It's a big centre-back. Big 6'6" centre-back. Is he going to score? Just. Wow. It was pretty good actually. He's giving a little celebration. Goal Christensen. Love that. From the captain who wanted to leave in January. So not the best leader for us. Penalty for Anderlecht. And they score as well. It's going to continue on. We're getting dangerously close to our goalkeepers. Badiashile, who cost us 1.4 million. Is he going to score? No, doesn't. But I'm sure they're like £3 centre-back will to make it. Them. Oh, it's the keeper. Keeper's... Oh. We're going to get beat by the goalkeeper taking a penalty in the Champions League. Well, there you go. Lost some penalties. Furious. Throw the bottle, throw everything at him. That is 2 cup competitions this season that we've lost on penalties. We should never, ever in a million years have lost to Anderlecht. Look, we got, 8.75 million for that, right? 8.27 million. If we'd just got through that bloody round, we would have got that and maybe more again. Oh, it would have been so much better for our finances and the budgets, but bloody hell, like, that's poor. I'm annoyed about that. I can see that we're sort of like in a stuck period where we're probably not going to win the Champions League, we're not going to win the Cup because we're out, and we're not going to win the league. So I was trying to create something different tactically that could give us like a bit of spark for this season. But I think that's just cost us the round. I think we'd have got knocked out anyway in the next one. But in any case, that's really poor. I mean, it's a good episode in terms of transfers, poor in terms of results, and I'm going to have to do a lot of tweaking off camera. But that is going to do our episode. Now, in terms of next episode, what are we going to do here? We've got the PSG game that, I mean, there's nothing to play for, is there? I've fucked the season. I mean, I've not done very well here. So PSG, Lyon, Lens. I mean, do I go PSG? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think PSG, FC Lorient, and Rennes, I think we'll do as an episode, then we'll do the end of season review. I think that's what we'll do. Either PSG in 2 matches or PSG in 1 match, depending on what there is to play for. And then we'll end the season, do the end of season review, and then look to do some transfers in the next one. So that is going to do the episode. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to get the win in the Champions League. So disappointing. I got us knocked up the cup by rotating the bloody team. It's not been a great episode. It's not been terrible. We made some good transfers. We've made the starting process of changing to a back four. And I'll do some tweaking off camera and let you know how it all goes. But that is going to be the episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.